Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be talking about something very, very important that is so touching. We as youths, we are the leaders of tomorrow, and it's very important we start to lend our voices to what is happening in our various countries, particularly in Africa. Well, precisely, I'm a Nigerian, so what happens in Nigeria bothers me a lot. So I deem it fit to be concerned or to talk or to lend my voice, to lend my opinion as per what is happening today. Couple of days ago, just about the 29th of May 2023, which is about last week, Nigerians sworn in their new president, Ahmed Bola Tinubu. And what this guy did was very, very good, by trying to remove subsidy, and of course, we know in most developed countries, you buy fuel at the real cost. So it gives the government the opportunity to have, to generate revenue and to generate income for the state and for the country so that they can carry out some developmental projects, infrastructural development and other things, so the government will have enough money in its pocket. Do you understand? So, but you see, before many of these governments will do such things, or they got to where they are, that they don't have to subsidize fuel or subsidize many things, it's because they have a system that is already working. For instance, the government don't pay for fuel, for the consumption of fuel for the masses. They don't give part payment. In other words, there's no subsidy for fuel and other things. Now, it's because governments have actually made the economy very viable. So even though people are buying fuel or buying diesel or every other or they're using all these services at the real cost, government actually have a way of, they call it palliatives. We have government foodstuff, we have government facilities, we have government hospitals, we have government schools, of which the masses that are not able to afford this standard cost of living can actually buy into these services and still be able to live above the economy or live above the system, and then they will thrive. But in the case of Nigeria, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu removed subsidy without any provision for the masses. And now what this means is that he's trying to tax the masses, the people that don't even have much. You want to rebuild the country, you want to rebuild the nation, and the smartest thing you think you will need to do is to rebuild it from the pocket, from the funds you get from the masses. I understand what it means that, in business, you went to business school, we have been taught that it is better to earn $1 in the heads of 100 people. In other words, it's better for you to have 100 people giving you $1. You have a service that you're rendering, and then 100 people are patronizing you. Then you get $1 from each of them. Better than you having one single person gives you $100 at once, And the chances is that when that one person decides to find an alternative, there will be a problem for you. But in the midst of these 100 people, even if it's 50, even 50 people don't turn up for business, don't turn up to buy or to use your service, you have $50. 50 people will still turn up to use your service. So this is what has made many people stay afloat, even when there is recession, things are not moving well, or people have found alternative to the service you're rendering to them. Now, what the removal of subsidy is going to do to Nigeria is going to further impoverish the masses. It's going to further plunge the people down and down and down. Muhammad Buhari also tried it. When he came in, he just went in and locked the borders and all of that. These are nice developments, but you don't just do things like this. You need to have what you call palliatives. You need to have what you call short measures you have provided, such that this particular action that you just took, which is a very, very positive one, and it could mean well at long run, but it will not, because in the end, what happens? He had to open the borders again. Why? Because that policy could not be sustained. Unrest, there were a lot of unrest everywhere. Chaos was going to happen. People were suffering. The masses were suffering. People were suffering, and people could no longer take it. And if care is not taken, people could start rioting, and people went on stealing. People went on killing. Then we have a situation where people started robbing people because everywhere was locked. Nothing was coming in, and there's no provision. Now, before you could lock the borders, did you strengthen your production, the production capacity or the production companies in your own country? How did you strengthen them? What materials did you make available as an alternative? If you don't want rice to come from outside, how did you better the production of rice in your country to ensuring that this one at least could also meet up? Do you want the people to starve to death because you want the country to become better? So before you can do some certain things, you need to consult. I don't know who you guys do consult, but you need to think. Do you understand? Now you remove subsidy from fuel, and now people have to buy fuel at 500 and above. Do you know what that means? It means that there's going to be scarcity of fuel. It doesn't mean that fuel is no longer going to be produced, but it will be produced. But many people will now have to be looking for alternative to fuel, and it doesn't mean that there's an alternative. So people will stop. They will automatically they will start hoarding money. And what usually causes inflation? What usually devalues the currency, the naira or every currency, is when you begin to hoard those currencies. Money is meant to circulate. So when when the cost of living goes up because you have removed subsidy, all of a sudden we're not used to buying fuel at this rate. We're not used to buying this or having this service at this cost. We are now forced to do it. What's going to happen? We're just going to, and now it's not as if you increase salary, minimum wage. All these things were not increased. Everything is still the same. All of a sudden, the cost of buying things, the cost of existence just skyrocket. People are now going to be looking for the little they have, they'll be hoarding it. And before you know it, and guess what? Even the rich, the high and mighty, the government people, they're the ones that should even be taxed heavily to repair the nation. Most of them don't even spend their money to buy fuel. You, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, do you ever buy fuel? Have you ever bought fuel with your money? Now you're a president. Will you ever buy fuel with your money? You're going to use government money to buy fuel. Your ministers, your governors, everybody, they're going to be supplied fuel. So in the end, their families. So while you are still living large, still running gen service from 24 hours throughout the whole year, you have the masses that don't even have any hope. Then the little that they're having, that you don't provide power, no constant power. There's no good government production companies for food, textile, and several things. Now these people will be forced to raise the dike, because cost of production will increase. So after they finish producing whatever they have produced, they will just double or triple the cost per cost. They will just increase the cost of all these things, and then the people will be left with So even people that have money to do business, so no sooner than later they will go back to penury. Here, because now you're producing but nobody is buying. Now the masses that you are taxing heavily as a result of you removing subsidy will now have to hoard the little they have, because it's not going to be enough for them to live, to have the standard kind of life they have. So what are you supposed to do? Strengthen the system first. Strengthen whatever system that it is, and create palliatives, alternative measures, such that what you cannot do with fuel, what you can do with fuel, you can do with other things. These are the way responsible and responsive government and leadership, leaders, this is how they think. He just went ahead and increased fuel, and all of a sudden they can go to hell. Who does that? Only in Africa and in Nigeria. What kind of leaders do we have? What kind of leaders do we have? Do we have leaders or we have hirelings? Do we have shepherds or we have hirelings in our leaders? These people, they act like they don't even care. The people can suffer for all they can. These people are living already in penury, and now you have to increase the cost of living again. Now the currency will be further devalued in the global market. Dollar will keep shooting up, and naira will keep plunging down. Just because of these singular steps. I know it's nice to the government needs to generate funds, but how are you supposed to generate these funds? You have people that have looted the wealth from 80s and 70s like that. Why don't you go to them? You guys gather yourself together, and even if it's 10% of the money you have looted, you bring back, rather than coming again. Okay, again, you go to most of there hasn't been any government, any president or governor that have not gone to IMF or World Bank to borrow money. They borrow this money, we don't hear about it again. I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. Now they have removed subsidy. They're going to generate money for the national treasury. After they generated this money, watch out. Nobody will be accountable for all this money. In the end, everything will come back to zero. So why are we punishing the poor? Why is the government punishing the masses? We need to understand this. We need to answer this question. So I'm calling on you, youths. It's high time you stop depending on the government. Start thinking of how you can help yourself. And what this government is doing, they've been doing and they are still doing, is that they're encouraging people, they're encouraging a lot of hardship. And people will start, looking for other vices to survive. There was a time in Nigeria, we had what we call 1 million gangs like that. They will write a letter to a community or to a street. They are coming to rob. And then when you get to the street, they will go house to house, estate to estate. They will cut away with valuables. With the little they have, they will keep, Why? Because people have become, hunger is everywhere. There's no job. Government is not supporting the people, Yet all they can do is to remove subsidy at a time like this. Could it be the wisest thing to do at this time? For me, I think it's the dumbest thing to do. Even though that's a wise action, but this is not the time to do it. You need to lay the foundation first. You need to lay a solid foundation for your government, such that when you do things like this, it doesn't have adverse effects on the masses. Do you think about the masses? Do you think of the masses? I tell you, this can only bring about more death, more poverty, more rape, more people, because a lot of people are going to lose hope. They're going to just lose hope on life, and they begin to do all manner of things. I'm calling on all youths, youth leaders particularly. It's time for us to be our brother's keeper. It's time for us to see how we can look at how we can help ourselves, because this government don't care. The past government never cared. This one came in, it's same thing. Previous governments, they just do what they feel like doing. They just do what they feel, Sometimes I wonder who are the people giving these people advice? The deep states. And these people are there, the big brothers, they're there watching this whole scenario, and they're not saying anything. They're not doing anything because they know people are going to become poor like that. Come to think of it, from time past, Nigeria has been borrowing. Where is those money you people have borrowed till today? You said you borrowed money to improve the roads, to improve the hospitals, to create jobs. Where are the jobs? Where are the roads? Where are the infrastructures? You borrow the money, you share it among yourself, you steal it and share it among yourself, and that's it. Now you want to rebuild. Now you are taxing the masses. It's the money for the masses. And it's not as if when you get this money, when you finish gathering this money, you will use it wisely to do for the purpose of which is meant. You will still gather the money from the masses and still share it among yourselves. You have your government cabinet. They are all driving expensive cars. flying abroad for medical checkups, their children living abroad, changing furnitures at every government. I keep wondering, the last government, do they have, oh my goodness. Please, Nigerian government, you need to help us. You need to help us. You need to stop tarnishing the image of the country. Stop rendering all the effort of the youth null and void. Stop making us feel like, oh my goodness. Nigeria, please. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you can help us. You can help the people. This is not the wise thing to do at this time. If there's a time to do this, it's not this time. And before you can ever do a thing like this, you need to set a structure right that can balance the whole system, such that people don't have to suffer and suffer and suffer. You are killing your people. Except if you don't care. Except if you don't care. You're a father, you're a grandfather to many of us. So we should look up to you. You're not only responsible to your own direct children and your grandchildren, you're responsible for every one of us, because you have become our president by so-called INEC, because we don't understand what they did. But however, you are now the president. You can actually help us become better. You can help the country become better, but not like this. Please.